Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be another reading vlog. I'm really excited about this because I just love doing reading vlogs and I am so obsessed with the series. So obviously by the title, I'm going to be reading the second book in the One Dark Window series. It is actually a duology, so there's only 2 books. If you haven't read the first book, I actually didn't do a reading vlog for that one because I wasn't doing reading vlogs at that time, but the second I got this one in the mail, I was like, I have to do a reading vlog for this because it's a really amazing fantasy series. I'm obsessed with this and I obviously have no idea how this is gonna end. And yeah, I'm just really excited to like talk about this with you guys. If you are new here, you guys can check out my Goodreads. I do have a Goodreads account. It's just Keaton Milburn, and you guys can see books that I read over there, recommendations, reviews, and see my progress as I'm reading. And I love having friends on Goodreads and seeing what all of you guys are reading. Like I always go by and like your updates or whatever it is. So anyway, add me on Goodreads if you guys want more reading suggestions. I stopped doing full reviews over on Goodreads, but a lot of you guys asked me to start writing like a couple sentences on each of my books that I've been reading, so I'm gonna start doing that again over there. But enough of me yammering on. Let's get into the second book, which is Two Twisted Crowns. I started this yesterday and I'm 20 pages in. I didn't read this book very long ago, but I do think I needed a little bit of a refresher before starting this one because it picks up immediately where it leaves off from the first one. And so I should have like read them back to back or like read the last couple chapters of the first one because I forgot all the characters' names, or at least I forgot their relations. Also, I'm saying right from the jump that we're gonna be getting different perspectives. So I've already read Raven's perspective, I've read Elspeth's perspective, and I've also read Elm's perspective. So this is going to be very interesting. The last thing I just read is that Elm was headed to Hawthorne House and he was basically trying to see like, is there anyone left in this house or did they all flee? And he found Ione, I think that's her name, which I can see like a little love story happening with Ione and Elm. I can see that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the names wrong, but that's the best that I can do. Also just read the part where Raven was visiting where the Shepherd King is buried, which is just like so creepy, and he was like digging stuff up and he was using the mirror card for too long. So he started to see this like ghost of this like young girl, and she is a daughter of the Shepherd King, and she was basically saying like, we're waiting for him to come and visit us. He hasn't ever come to the other side, which means like he's dead, but he's technically not dead because his soul is living on in Elspeth's body. So there's just so many like intricate little details and so much stuff going on. Right now, I'm also getting Elspeth's perspective. It's so hard to say Elspeth and like something else after. Like her name is a tongue twister. But I'm getting her perspective, and she's obviously like in her own mind, but she doesn't realize like what's happened to her. And she's trying to remember stories and like remember things about herself. She doesn't even remember her name. Like the Shepherd King had to like retell her name. So I'm so interested to see like her journey. It's kind of reminding me, if you guys have read SJM, if you guys read where the Valg had people possessed in Throne of Glass, and one of the characters, I'm not going to say who if you haven't read it so I won't spoil it, but one of them was like possessed and you're hearing like their thoughts in your mind. It's kind of giving that vibe to me, like you can just like hear what they're going through. I don't know, I'm so interested and it's so good. So here we go. I am starting chapter 4 in Raven's perspective right now. Raven right now is talking to the Shepherd King in Elspeth's body, and he's basically asking like, can you please show me where the Twin Elders card is? I have no idea where this could possibly be. That's something that I really love about this book because it's different than any book that I've ever read, and I think it's a little bit slower paced than other books that I read, like other fantasy books that I read. But I love that I feel like I cannot predict almost anything about this except for obvious, like in the first book, I did assume from the beginning, like I had a guess that maybe the Shepherd King was inside of Elspeth's mind, but that wasn't, I think, supposed to be a huge shock. I felt like it was pretty obvious given all the riddles, but it was still shocking when it was revealed at the end. It's like, oh my God, that really is him. Like you don't know, but you think it, you know? Whereas like, I feel like there's so much in here that I really can't predict, and I love that. I have no idea where the Twin Elders card could be. I feel so bad for Raven because he just wants to talk to Elspeth and be with Elspeth so bad. And he's talking to the nightmare, and he's like, at what point did you begin and did she end? Like basically, were all my moments with Elspeth real or not real? Because now he's like, was I with the nightmare? But obviously we know that that's not the case. So like the nightmare is explaining to him that he went like somewhere far away in his mind so that he wasn't around for that. But it's still sad because I want them to be together, and he like just wants to save her and help her so bad. But right now they're going to meet King Rowan, and hopefully the nightmare will be able to be like, I can help you get the Twin Elders card, blah blah blah, so that he can stay alive. Oh my god. Okay, Elm and Ione were riding horseback all the way to Stone, and they just got like bombarded by highwaymen, but like the angst with this whole scene is like so good. Like the highwaymen are like, oh my god, like they're like saying stuff and like touching Ione, and Elm is like, don't touch her. Like he's like being so like, you know, he's giving the angst that we love. I'm scared though that Elm is gonna have to be like one of the ones that dies, because I feel like they're based on what the Shepherd King wants. Like he wants the Rowan lineage to end, or like he wants like all the Rowans to die, and obviously Elm is a Rowan, so I'm like trying to figure out, is he gonna have to be gone? I really hope not. I got distracted and took a little break reading, but I am currently at the part where they just got to Stone, and Ione and Elm are like undressing each other because they just rode together on their horses and it was raining, so now they're like changing, and it's just like, oh my god, it's so much tension. It's actually, I'm like more into this right now than I was with like Raven and Elspeth, so I'm just like, oh, I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm so interested. Okay, I really like them. I like their bickering. He said you should wear a cloak, and she said I'm fine as I am. He said you'll lose your toes, then your fingers, maybe the tip of your nose, or that wicked mouth. And she said, what's my mouth to you? And he said, nothing. I just love a good banter, you know? It's good. Oh, Raven just walked in on them. Period. It's been a couple of days since I have been able to read, but I wanted to catch you guys up because today I read 2 chapters and it's currently 8:15, and I'm gonna try and read until 10 p.m. tonight and read as much as I possibly can. So I've been looking forward to this all day. The last thing that just happened is they brought Ione to the throne room to go meet the king and like decide what her fate is, if she's gonna be like put to death. I don't know if that's a term, but you guys know what I mean, or if they're gonna be able to save her. And Elm like essentially just saved her, so it's getting juicy, it's getting interesting, and I just, yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I really disliked Ione in the first book, and I can see obviously she's getting a little bit of a redemption arc. I would have loved to be able to get her perspective in the first book, like why she was doing what she was doing, like getting the maiden card and doing all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I wish that I had more of her perspective to know why she's made certain decisions like in the first book, but I'm really interested to see where this goes. So we're gonna start reading right now. I'm on chapter 10, page 73. Okay, so Elm just went to go visit Ione because she had like huge cuts on her hand, and he's like, I don't understand. You had huge cuts and like you were bleeding everywhere, and now you're not. So we went to visit her, and it turns out the maiden card can heal. So I'm so interested in that. That makes so much sense because I kept wondering why they were being like, it's so weird that she's still using the maiden card to like look beautiful like in the midst of all this drama, which I did think was kind of weird. Like, why do you still have that? Are you like, I don't know, just like wanting to look really pretty? But it's because it heals and it like keeps her protected, so that makes so much more sense. Elm is also about to go take her to see Elspeth, so I'm a little nervous for that. And their tension is just everything. Like, I just love Elm and Ione's tension. It's a new day, but they just took Ione to see Elspeth, and unfortunately the Shepherd King, which is Elspeth, was like, I'm not gonna help you find your maiden card. She really needs her maiden card because she wants to be able to basically have her freedom again. I didn't realize that she wasn't able to feel anything if she was using the maiden card, so now she's trying to find it. And Elm is like, I'm gonna help you, and she's like, why are you gonna help me? I don't understand. And he's like, because I want to prove that I'm nothing like, you know, his brother who she was betrothed to. So I'm like, yes, Take your brother's girl. Take her. Raven just got back to Castle U, which is his castle, his home or whatever. And I'm just so interested to see what the nightmare is gonna do, because I can tell obviously the nightmare has like a plan. He knows how everything is gonna go. But obviously it's like really confusing to Raven. Also, what just happened is like Raven just got so upset because he knows that the king is planning to use Elspeth's like body. I'm saying her body because it's like not her or whatever, but like the king is planning on using her to sacrifice in order to like unite the full deck of cards. And so Raven is like so upset about it and like trying to find a way to not let that happen. And like seeing him so upset, it's just like making me sad, because I want him and Elspeth to like be together again, and I want her to be back to her regular self. When Ione went and visited her, she was like begging to speak to Elspeth, and the nightmare was like, she's not ready. And so like we're getting little glimpses into Elspeth's like thoughts, and she's basically learning like the full story of what's going on. I have a feeling that we're not gonna get any of like actual like interaction with Elspeth until the very end, which makes me really sad, because it's like I just really want, I don't know, I just like want her and Raven. But Elm and Ione right now are everything to me. The king just told Elm like, listen, Hoth is never going to be able to come back, so you're basically going to have to be the king. And Elm is like super pissed off. He's like, I don't want to do that. And then they also just told him that he has to find a wife in like a couple weeks. So of course he's really mad because he wants to be with Ione, but right now they're like flirting. They're outside getting like drunk together because they're pissed, and they just wagered a kiss. So I'm gonna see if they're about to kiss. It was basically, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like if he can be under the scythe for like a minute or something like that, then like they're bartering like a kiss or whatever. But like I'm so obsessed with their flirting. Like I love their flirting, but I'm so nervous because obviously the king wants to kill Ione too eventually, and she's supposed to be like technically like pretending that she's still with Elm's brother Hoth, whatever. It's just like it's so much confusion and drama and politics, you know, which I really love. But right now that's what's happening. Just found out that Hoth is the one that made Ione hide her mating card. I'm freaking pissed because I just cannot stand him, but also it's giving me like so much more perspective about like why Ione was doing what she was doing. I know I already said this, but like obviously I really didn't like her in the first book. She was really annoying me, but now I'm getting it more. I don't know where he could have hidden that. I'm excited to see, but I also love that like they're using the chalice. It's Elm and Ione right now. They're using the chalice and like asking each other questions. It kind of feels like 21 questions or like truth or dare or something. I don't know, but I'm excited. Oh my god, just as I was saying how excited I am about Elm and Ione, I wasn't expecting them to like actually like almost hook up at this little game that they were playing. But oh my god, right as it was getting good, Philip just walked in. Philip is, I always forget who Philip is. Is he like the doctor or whatever he is? I really should know this by now. But he just walked in right at the wrong moment, and now I'm like, no, see, this isn't good, because now I feel like Ione's gonna be embarrassed. But I just like love them. Like I love them so much. But I'm so bummed that he just walked in. I'm obsessed with Elm. Like the way that, like the stuff he was saying during this game, like she was literally like, okay, well like tell me if you remember me at Equinox. And he literally was just like reciting all the times and like every little thing that he remembered about her. And like also him complimenting the way that she looked before the mating card. Like he's like, you had freckles, your eyelashes were lighter, like so many cute things. I'm like, Elm, I love you. Raven just got to the first like thing that he has to do to find the Twin Elders card. So it's the barter. So he's crossing the lake right now, which is so sus. Also, what's happening right now is the nightmare can't seem to find Elspeth. So I feel like she's like lost in his memories or something, because when it goes to Elspeth's perspective, it's like a lot of the Shepherd King's memories. And I feel like she's like wandering her mind, which is like such a weird concept, but I think she's like wandering around in his mind and he like can't find her. I'm also interested to see, like I want Elspeth to like go into like the Shepherd King's mind and then like find out things that she's not supposed to find out, or like figure out like what's going on. I don't know. I just like, I want her to like dig around in there and like see what he's doing, because he's definitely plotting. I just want her to get the tea basically. But Raven is like so stressed about her. Like they just had to like all cut their hands and then like drop blood like onto like the lake where they have to swim across, and he's like, don't leave a scar on her and stuff like that. So like he's still like looking out for her even though it's not her, and it makes me so sad because he's just like so stressed about her. But right now they're like crossing the lake, and honestly I'm not at this point yet, maybe I need to keep reading, but I kind of want the Gorse guy. Like I feel like the Gorse guy is gonna be like sacrificed. Like he's one of the destriers that like was made to go with them, and I'm like, he's gotta go. Maybe one of these sirens that's in the water will like eat him up or something. Okay, I have to stop here because I have to go to dinner, so that's why I just changed. But I think I'm about to download the book and then listen to it on my 30-minute drive to dinner because I'm so obsessed right now. What basically just happened is I was literally just saying that I felt like Elspeth was gonna not be able to like see everything that was going on until the very end, but the nightmare just let her like out basically of like the shore that she was on, and so now she is in the place of the nightmare. So it's like she's getting to see everything that's going on through her own body, but she can't control herself, which would be so freaking weird. But Raven just went into her mind and heard her, so he's like freaking out because he's like, oh my god, she's literally like alive, like I need to try and talk to her. I cannot wait until the moment that they're like able to speak, because the nightmare just like shut him out and was like, no, she's not ready. And I'm like, no, but she literally is. Like she doesn't want to be trapped in here. But like I can't wait until the moment like Raven is able to speak to her. Also, like all of them, like all the destriers who are like out on this mission to find the twin elders, just realized that the maiden card can heal them. So I like forgot that only Ione and Elm know that. I don't know, I just forgot that like the rest of them didn't know that. So they just found out that it can heal them, which is really good. That's what just happened. There is so much tea right now. I feel like in the beginning of the book I was like, it was just really, really slow. But now I'm like 100 or so pages in, and I'm getting the tea. I'm getting the tea now. I'm literally downloading it on Audible so that I can listen to it on my way to dinner, and I'll keep you posted. Oh my god. Okay, so they all just got captured by these people, or people that are like banished basically, and they captured them, and they're like, you destriers have to pay because you guys have been killing people and taking people with the sickness and stuff. And obviously like they're like the good destriers, well some of them are, and they're under this like weird magic. And so Raven and Jesper are like fighting with each other, which is stressing me out because like the things that they're saying are so harsh. Like Jesper just said to Raven, she said, you think the destriers hate you because they're infected? They don't. Not all of them. They hate you because you think you're better than them. He said, I am better than them. I literally can't. And then this like magic that's like making him like super vengeful and like mean, he just said something to the nightmare like about his kids and stuff like that. Like he's like, this is how you were with your kids, like you didn't help your kids out either, and that's why they're not here. Like, oh he's really going for the kill, you know what I mean? Literally, because he just killed Gorse, which I know I just said like 2 clips ago, like, oh my god, like I need him to go away. But I wasn't expecting Raven to be the one to actually end him. So now I'm just like, oh my god, this was a lot to process. This was so much that just happened. And then this interaction right here with the nightmare and Raven, like the nightmare and Elspeth interacting in each other's minds and then like speaking to Raven is absolutely killing me. The nightmare held Raven in his yellow gaze the entire time. He said, Elspeth says you look terrible. And Raven says, she didn't say that. He said, no, she didn't. It seems I owe you an apology. And he said, you mean Elspeth wants you to apologize. It's just so, it's like funny to me because it's like the nightmare is this like horrifying, like scary, like he is horrifying and scary, and he's like taken over Elspeth's life, but like also the relationship he has with Elspeth, the control she has over him, you know, making him apologize and stuff to Raven. It's just like that whole thing kind of makes me die. Also, in the craziest turn of events, Opal Hawthorne was in the mix of these people and like went up to Elspeth and was like, something is wrong with you, like you're not right, which it's like, clearly babe, she doesn't look well. So that was crazy. But they just got their cards and now they're running. They're dipping out of there. We're back with Elm and Ione and their interactions. I live for them. He keeps looking at her in her dress, and she said, go on, tell me how much you hate it. I know you're dying to. And he said, you look good. She said, good. He said, good, Hawthorne, you always look good. And she said, what's the matter with you? You're being strangely nice. He's in love with you, okay? He's in love with you, but you have no soul right now, so you need to snap back. He's asking her what she used to feel before the maiden. She's basically saying like she used to feel so much emotion and stuff before the maiden card. Like it took all of her emotions away, but it seems like she felt too much, like not even like the average. It's like she was an overly emotional person, so it's actually really sad. Oh, Elm just said, what happened the other night in the cellar, is that something you'll be able to live with? Like literally talking about them about to like, she said, that depends on you, Prince. Are you truly nothing like your brother, or are you simply a gifted liar? Okay, now they're in the library. I'm sensing tension in the library. Like anytime they're alone, I'm like, what's happening? Elm just said to Ione, if you didn't enjoy yourself, if you'd rather pretend it never happened, talking about them like in the cellar, he said, I'll understand. She said, what makes you think I didn't enjoy myself? He said, you left in a hurry. You fled because someone walked in on them. Duh. She said, would it shock you, Prince, if I said, had we not been interrupted, I'd have stayed? He said, to what end? He said, to what end? And she said, you'd like me to tell you all the things we might have done. Oh my God. He said, you're so lucky we aren't alone right now. Oh? Elm. Naughty boy. Naughty boy. They just had a conversation about Brutus Rowan, which was the first Rowan king. And the reason that the Nightmare hates the Rowans so much is I feel like because of Brutus Rowan, but I'm like wondering, this is like where my mind is going. I'm like, were they lovers? And then like it was like a lovers thing, and like he like ended up killing him, or was Brutus not the one that killed the Shepherd King at all? Was it some other Rowan that was like in the family at the time? I don't know. It's very interesting because the flashback memories of Brutus and the Shepherd King, they seem very friendly, like they're very, very good friends. I don't know when it would have taken a turn, but it doesn't seem like Brutus is in the wrong. Like Brutus is always telling the Shepherd King, like, you shouldn't be bartering for this many cards, you shouldn't be doing this and that, and then he's just like, no, it's fine, like I can do this, whatever. So it doesn't seem like he would be in the wrong. Elm and Ione are going into the rose garden to look for her maiden card. I feel like something bad is gonna happen here. I don't know. I just feel like something. I love Elm. He said it was uncomfortable pretending she was not sewn into him, that it had not become vital to him, helping her find her maiden card, that he was not in some kind of pain every moment he was with her. It was all so terribly, wonderfully uncomfortable. They're like joking around, and he said, what would you have me do, burn the castle down with everyone in it? And she said, that would be a start. And he said, trees, Hawthorne, what a queen you would make. You know, I think that's just, you know, a little foreshadowing. I think Ione will be the queen and Elm will be the king, like 1000%. Okay, she's using the scythe to try and like compel. I keep saying compel, but I don't know if that's the right word, but to make herself remember where she put the maiden. Oh my God, he's so flirty. He's taking his clothes off and Ione was staring at him and he said, sorry, I should have asked if you wanted to help with that. Oh no. Prince Hoth is awake. No. This entire reading vlog is just me loving Elm because he just went to Hawthorne House and went and got all of Ione's dresses. So Hoth like tried to wake up and then he just like fell back unconscious. So he's eventually gonna come back, but like he didn't come back right now like I thought he was going to. And Elm is plotting to marry Ione. I don't know what he's doing with her like marriage license and stuff. Like he snuck in and grabbed her license and like all of that. But I don't know what's going on with that. Right now, what I'm super stressed about is they just got into like the Alder Forest. So it's like this big forest that they have to enter into. And I just looked into the Nightmare's memories. And basically the story of the Shepherd King is that like after he had all 12 cards, he wasn't able to use any of them. So he went back in to go speak to the spirit of the wood. And he went into like this forest where all the alder trees are. Oh my God. And now they're doing that exact same thing. And he is telling Raven like, okay, one of you guys is basically gonna have to like sacrifice yourself. And Jesper's like, I'll do it. So her and Peter, which are the two people that are with them, are flipping a coin to literally see which one of them is gonna essentially like sacrifice themselves because it might cost them their entire life. So I'm really stressed. Okay, oh my god, she said toss the coin for Emery. Okay, so Jesper picked tails and Peter picked heads. He said caging the fingers around it before others could see. It says heads, which is Peter's. And Jesper didn't move. She said, you're lying. Is he lying? He said, I'm not. Oh, he was lying. Okay, she took her charm, but before Raven could reach out and stop her, shoved it into the hole in the alder tree. Okay, but maybe she'll survive. Maybe she'll be able to get through the mist. Maybe it won't be that bad. No, not Jesper. Shepherd King is like so messed up. Like I know he's like trying to help them or whatever, but it's like you couldn't have clarified that his sister was gonna be a goner. Ione and Elm are dancing right now together at Equinox. And I'm just like, is no one like so gagged that he's just dancing with his brother's betrothed while his brother is like on his literal deathbed? I just think it's crazy. Like I just think it's absolutely insane. I mean, obviously don't get me wrong, I love it, but that concept is actually nuts. Okay, I'm so upset. Right now I'm in Ione's memories and Elm is using the nightmare card on her to like go back through and try and find them, but her memories with Hoth are so bad. Like he's like telling her she's not pretty. He's just like making her really drunk, and I don't know, I hate this. I cannot stand him. But the good news is Elm knows where the maiden card is, but now she just said, wait, I want to show you the rest. Oh, it's her begging to see if she can have the maiden card back. This is Ione to Hoth. She said, I don't see why you're so determined to lock my feelings away. If I promise to use the maiden when we're together at court, will you tell me where it is? And he said no. And she said, then I ask you to release me from the engagement. He said, and subject my father to courtly gossip, he'd whip the both of us. So this is what you would have, a queen with no heart? He tapped his scythe and said, go away. The fact that he's using his scythe on her is so bad. Oh, okay, this is a memory of Hoth questioning her and saying, Elspeth is infected, isn't she? And Ione saying no. He said, it's disgrace enough that my own cousins carry that blight, but now my future wife, it is too much. He dragged her by her hair to the... What? He said, I will release you from our engagement. Wait, he shoved her out the window? He shoved her out the window and she fell down a tower. Elm just asked her, did no one help you? She said, I simply lay there waiting to die. Oh, I forgot. She had the maiden card. So that's why she was fully healed. That's why no one knew what happened to her. I was just wondering, like, no one knew she fell out of a tower and like broke all her bones. He like literally could have killed her had she not had the maiden. He said, you'd make such a perfect queen. She said, just not a perfect Rowan queen. He said, what does that mean? Elspeth. I could never wear the crown that would see Elspeth or anyone infected killed, not even now when I feel nothing. She found her maiden card. I'm kind of stressed though, like what's gonna change when she does this? Are like all her emotions gonna hit her immediately? He said, I have a proposition for you, Miss Hawthorne, a final barter between us. You can still be the Queen of Blended Hawthorne if you want to. What are you talking about? Marriage contracts. Oh my God. So the marriage contracts that the king wrote, he wrote that Ione would be bound to the heir, not Hoth specifically. So now that Elm is the heir, he can marry her. And it's literally like legal. It's in the contract. He said, I'd be your king, but always your servant, never your keeper. Oh my God, I'm so giddy. The twin elder trees or whatever just had Jesper like tied down, and Raven is the one that has to actually go in and ask the spirit of the wood for the twin elders card. So that's what's happening right now. That's my update. My second update is that Elm and Ione are together right now, and they just tapped the maiden card, and like all her feelings are coming back. So it's really sad because she's like struggling so much, which is like what I thought. Like I was thinking, like I wonder if all her stuff, like all the stuff that she was unable to feel is gonna hit her all at one time. So Elm just left Ione And now he's like giving her time to process and stuff, and he's going to visit Hoth. Wait, I'm actually dying because Elm was just the little spoon. It says that 2 hands wrapped around him, Ione pressed her body against his back, which means she's spooning him. And then they fell asleep. He was a little spoon. He's such a little spoon. Oh, they're sharing memories. He's sharing about the first time that he saw her and he loved her laugh. And she said, "I thought you were beautiful. A beautiful, terrible prick." They're out in the middle of the meadow and they're about to, you know, finally. And she just said, he looked at her and said, "The way you're looking at me terrifies me." And she said, "Why? Did no one ever love you before, Elm?" And he said, "Not like this." Someone literally knocked me out. All right, I'm stopping there. I've got like 130 pages left and I'm at part 2, which is the bend. And Elm and Ione just got back from their little rendezvous that they were having, and when he just returned to his room, Hoth was standing there lurking. So that's the thing that I'm ending off on, but I'm so tired, so I'm gonna go to sleep and I will pick back up tomorrow. It's the next day. I didn't get to vlog much of my reaction to some crazy stuff that just happened in this book because I was so obsessed at this morning when I was doing some errands. I was like driving around and stuff. I listened to it on Audible and I didn't have my camera, so I'm so bummed about that. But let me just fill you in on where I'm at right now. So Elm got back to his room, him and Ione, and Hoth was there. The most like insane turn of events happened where he was using his scythe on Ione and made her like injure herself essentially. And I really thought that she was going to be gone right then and there. I thought she was gonna be dead, but she didn't. It healed her, which thank God. But now Elm has rushed her out of the castle and they're like leaving after they just got the maiden card and all of that stuff back. And he was like, "You're gonna have to leave me here," whatever. And so I'm just like, I'm so confused as to why Elm like couldn't ride off with her. Like, I don't know why he wouldn't let go of his like scythe's power, and he basically just like is laying on the forest floor, and Ione just had to like leave, and he's like, "We'll be together," and like, "I wish we would have had those 100 years." And I'm like, I don't understand why you can't just like let go of the power and like go. But anyway, that's what's happening there. On the other side, I love how there's like 2 plots going on. Raven has been talking to the spirit of the wood. He just got the full deck of cards essentially. He didn't get the full deck of cards, but he's got the twin elders now, and it showed the Shepherd King's like full story of everything. So kind of like how I was thinking that Brutus Rowan, like I thought, oh, like maybe he's good or something like that, and it wasn't really the Shepherd King. I was wrong. So he actually really did kill the Shepherd King and like his entire family, which is so messed up. And now Raven is out from his conversation with the spirit of the wood. He has the twin elders in his hand, so now they need to take it back for solstice and like unite the entire deck. The Shepherd King is saying he has a plan of like what to do with the like infected person's blood that they need. So I'm like so confused as to who they're going to use, because I'm trying to think of like who else would be infected that they could use to do that, but I can't think of anyone else unless there's someone that is infected and we just don't know about it. Like I'm thinking the only other person, I don't know, maybe it's Hoth, like maybe Hoth is, or Linden, like one of those like random people, like maybe the Shepherd King knows that. The conversation that they're having right now is between the Shepherd King and Elspeth, and she's actually kind of getting a little sad at like the thought that the Shepherd King won't be with her anymore, because after they unite the deck, obviously he's going to be gone and Elspeth will have her own like body back essentially, and like mind, he's going to be gone. And she's getting kind of sad, which I am too, because it would be weird to like live your entire life like that. The only thing I'm confused about in this book, the only thing that's not making sense to me right now is why when the spirit of the wood was talking to Raven, if someone can explain this to me, why when the spirit of the wood was talking to Raven, was he saying his name is Taxus? Like I'm so confused. I'm kind of confused by that. I'm gonna need to like look up an explanation. I don't understand. That's the only part that's confusing me. Oh, and the Roan King is dead. So that's what's happening right now. I'm on page 357 out of 434, so I'm almost done. Now I'm gonna live read with you guys. Sorry I just recapped and let you guys know where I'm at right now, but it's because I was listening as an audiobook and I didn't get to give my live reaction on that part, but we are now. Oh my God, I was just saying I didn't understand why he said his name was Taxus. Oh my God, this is making so much sense. Raven is related to the Shepherd King. That's his son. It's Bennett's son. Either way, they're related. Oh, he said, I will take this is the Shepherd King. He said, I will take the throne of Blunder back, but not for you, for Elm. Okay, yes. Okay, so this is what I wanted. I wanted Elm to be the king. I was hoping for that. So now I'm on to the next chapter, and it turns out that they were using the Twin Elders card for a month. So now we're a month ahead of time, and now it's on Solstice Day. So they're like freaking out because now they're having to basically race against time to get this done, even though they thought they had so much time. Oh my God, they're looking for Peter. I forgot that Peter was waiting outside of those trees. He's definitely gone. He did not wait on them. Ione's there. Okay, they're all coming together. Ione is seeing Elspeth, and he said, the nightmare is speaking for Elspeth, and he said, she's very loud in her enthusiasm to see you, yellow girl. It had happened weeks ago. Hoth healed by the maiden card, the king murder, Elm framed and presumably kept alive so Hoth might trade him for the Twin Elders, but as to the condition he was kept in, Raven could only guess. Okay. Oh, next chapter is in Elm's perspective. I'm so scared to read this because I just know it's like gonna be so depressing because he's probably in a dungeon. Hoth is probably literally like torturing him for his whole life. Let's see what's happening. Oh, just kidding. Elm wasn't alone in Stone's frozen underbelly. Eric Spindle and Tyrn Hawthorne were with him. Elm's thoughts. He should have gone with her. He should have fled. He was supposed to be clever. Clever men didn't freeze to death for pride, thinking they could rewrite old wrongs. Exactly. He shouldn't have just like stayed there. But I guess I'm realizing now he was just using his scythe for too long. So like it like made him not really think clearly. Oh, Elm just told Hoth that he was one of the highwaymen that were there and stole his card from him. Ooh. The tea is out. Not good, but at least he's telling him, you know. Okay, I have to get in my car and drive. So this is where I'm leaving off. Elm is still in prison. He just had the conversation with Ione's dad, actually. And his dad was like, my Ione, she escaped. She's safe, which is like, just shut up. And Elm said, I don't know. Pray that she forgives you for trading that nightmare card for a marriage for Hoth, because I never will. Period. Absolutely, he sucks so bad. Okay, so I have to go. I'll be back. Okay, bad news, really horrible news. I have like 30 more pages left, and they just brought Renelm and Eric Spindle, Ione's dad, all of them out. And unfortunately, Emery told Hoth where all the Providence cards were, so now he has all of them, which is what they were coming back to get. So, I'm stressed. Are you stressed?
Stressed. Can't even deal.
Ione is here to save the day. She just showed up and she's got the maiden card and the Twin Elders, and Raven literally just appeared in front of Hoth and stabbed him in the hand, as he literally should. I'm so excited. This is like the showdown moment I've been waiting for. This is my least favorite thing about like fantasy books and like books like that, like just like the stupidity, you know what I mean? Raven was like fighting with Hoth, and Hoth obviously has all the cards that he needs, and instead of just killing him and taking the cards and like running and doing what he needs to do, he was like toying with Hoth, you know, and like beating him up, and he only took one card out of his pocket, and as he's like talking crap, essentially, Hoth stabbed him, so now he's down. And I'm just like, I hate when this happens. This like annoys me so much. So now he's been stabbed and he's like bleeding out in the snow, and next chapter is in Elspeth's perspective, so we'll see what's about to happen. But I hate that. I literally hate that. Thank God they just brought Hoth into the chamber or whatever, and they infected him. I was hoping that that was like what they were gonna do, like they were gonna use him for that. So Elm and Ione just like cut him, so they're using his blood to unite the whole deck. I'm so happy because I need him gone, but I really, really, really need Raven to live through this, and I need Elspeth to come back. I don't have that many more pages. I've got 20 more pages left. Raven is alive and he's back and he's great, but he just went with the nightmare into the chamber and like had a little talk with him, and it turns out the entire time he literally could have just ripped the nightmare card in two and he would have been gone. He's made things so complicated, but I'm so annoyed that could have happened the whole time, but he like was holding on to that because he didn't want to like let her go and stuff. So now Elspeth is gonna come back and be with Raven. I'm back home now, so I wanted to conclude this reading vlog. I really enjoyed this. I'm so like sad that I don't get to be with any of these characters anymore. Like normally when I'm reading fantasy series, I get super invested, and then I have so many books to continue like reading about them, knowing about their life. But I do feel like the ending of this book really like wrapped everything up so beautifully. Like I loved how every single person ended up. I love who they ended up with. I really enjoyed this book specifically because as I was editing this vlog back, I was like, oh my god, the way I'm literally talking about Elm in every single clip is insane. But I wasn't expecting so much perspective from him and to like really like love his character so much. So I really liked that about this book. I loved Raven. I also like, I have such like a love for Elspeth and her character. I don't know, I just really like her personality. I like where this book took me. I loved the concept of it. Like I loved the whole entire concept of having all of these cards and stuff like that. Like I love when people have so much imagination and like creativity when writing books, and I felt like this was such a creative book. Just a really cool concept. And I also loved the eerie, like creepier vibe of this. Like I just like really enjoyed that. It was the perfect book and series for me to read for the fall. So overall, I loved this book. I gave this book 5 stars. I think I gave both books 5 stars. I truly loved them so much, so it would make sense. But yeah, I had a really great time reading this series. I'm sad that it's over, but now that I have read this series by Rachel Gillig, I'll 100% be reading other books by her because I like really enjoyed this. My next reading vlog is going to be a Iron Flame reading vlog, so if you guys haven't read Fourth Wing, I have a reading vlog for Fourth Wing on my channel, but I'm also going to be vlogging reading Iron Flame. So I'm really excited about that because obviously everyone's talking about Iron Flame and it's just so freaking good. So anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!